I've decided that today is the day I stop holding this back. Today is the day I finally let you in, all the way. Into the parts of me I keep quiet. Into the corners of my heart I don't usually show anyone. Because you deserve that. You deserve to know the truth about how I feel about you. I want you to stop whatever you're doing right now. Just for a moment. I want you to take a breath. And I want you to really hear me. Because what I'm about to tell you, it's been living inside me for a very long time. And saying it feels like opening a door I've been standing behind for years, hand on the knob, too afraid to turn it. But I'm turning it now, for you, because of you. And I need you to stay with me all the way to the end of this, because there's something I'm building toward, something I need you to hear. And if you leave too soon, you're going to miss it. Do you remember the first time you found me? The first time you heard my voice, or saw my face, or stumbled across something I made, and something inside you said, "Wait, stay a little longer"? I think about that moment more than you realize. I think about all the different places you might have been, all the different versions of your day, and somehow, in the middle of all of it, you found your way to me. And I've never taken that lightly. Not once. Not for a single second. Because I know that your time is precious. I know that your attention is something you give carefully, and the fact that you gave any of it to me, even a little, changed something in my life forever. But here's what I never told you. Here's the part I kept to myself. While you were watching me, while you were listening to me, while you were showing up again and again, I was watching you too. Not in the way that sounds strange, but in the way that love watches. In the way that care pays attention. I was reading your words. I was feeling your energy. I was learning who you are through every little piece of yourself you shared with me. And slowly, without meaning to, without planning for it, I fell. I fell in a way I didn't expect. I fell in a way I'm not sure I even have the right words for yet. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try to put it into words tonight. Because you deserve to finally hear it. You are not just someone who found me. You are someone I found too. And I need you to understand what that means coming from me. Because I don't say things like this without meaning them with everything I have. I don't open up this way for no reason. I'm opening up right now because something shifted. Something changed. Something happened inside me recently that made me realize I cannot keep walking through my days pretending I haven't been carrying you with me everywhere I go. And that's the truth. That is the honest, raw, unguarded truth. You have been with me, even when you didn't know it, even when I was quiet, even when there was distance and silence and time between us. You were there, in the back of everything, in the quiet under everything. There are nights, and I want you to really hear this. There are nights when I sit in the silence after everything is done, after the noise of the day has gone quiet. And I think about you, not in a vague, general way. I mean, I think about you specifically, about what your life looks like, about what you carry, about what makes you laugh in the middle of hard moments, and what makes your eyes fill even when you're trying to hold it together. I think about the version of you that no one else gets to see, the one you keep tucked away because the world hasn't always been gentle enough to deserve it. And I want you to know, I see her. I see that version of you, and she is breathtaking. You have spent so much of your life being strong, haven't you? You've held things together when they were falling apart. You've shown up for people who didn't always show up for you. You've smiled through things that would have broken someone else completely. And maybe there have been moments, late at night, or in the quiet middle of a Tuesday, or right after you put your phone down after a conversation that left you feeling emptier than before. Maybe there have been moments where you wondered if anyone really sees you. Not the version of you that functions and manages and handles everything, but the real you, the soft you. The you that still wants to be held and understood and chosen. Not for what you do, but for who you are. I see her. I have always seen her. And I need you to know that. because I think sometimes the people we love most are the last ones to know how deeply they are loved. I'm not going to pretend that what we have is ordinary. I'm not going to stand here and act like this is just a normal connection, because I don't believe that, and I don't think you do either. Something about the way you keep coming back, something about the way I keep thinking about you, it tells me we are something more than coincidence. And I know the world might not always have a clean category for what this is. I know that what exists between us doesn't fit neatly into a box that's easy to label and explain. But I stopped needing it to make sense to everyone else a long time ago. What I need is for it to make sense to you and to me. And right now, in this moment, it makes more sense than almost anything else in my life. I want to tell you about the day I realized this was real. The day I stopped brushing it off and telling myself it was something smaller than it actually was. I was in the middle of an ordinary day. Nothing special about it, nothing that should have made it different from any other. And a thought of you crossed my mind. Just a small one, just a flicker. And instead of letting it pass the way thoughts usually do, it stayed. It planted itself somewhere deep and quiet, and it would not move. And I sat with it. I let myself feel it. And what I felt scared me, because it was big. It was bigger than I was ready for. It was the kind of feeling that rearranges the furniture inside you, that makes you look around at everything you thought you knew, and realize, oh, this is what was missing. You were what was missing. And I know that might feel like too much to hear all at once. I know you might be sitting with that sentence right now, turning it over, wondering if I mean it the way it sounds. I do. I mean it exactly the way it sounds. Because I've learned that the most important things in life are the ones we're too afraid to say out loud. And I'm done being afraid. I'm done choosing silence over honesty when it comes to you. You have given me too much of your loyalty, too much of your heart, too much of your time, for me to keep responding with silence and half-truths and carefully managed distance. Let me tell you something about myself that I don't often share. Something I keep close. I grew up believing that showing emotion was a kind of weakness. That if you let people see how much you care, you give them something to use against you. So I learned to be careful. I learned to keep things behind glass. Visible but untouchable, present but protected. And for a long time, I thought that was the right way to live. I thought that was how you survived. You keep yourself a little out of reach. You never let anyone fully in. You stay in control of how much you feel. But then you happen, and staying in control became the hardest thing I'd ever tried to do. Because you didn't come with walls. You came open. You came soft and real. And without the kind of armor I was used to seeing. You showed up with your whole heart in your hands, and you just offered it. Maybe you didn't even realize you were doing it. Maybe it just felt like watching a video, or leaving a comment, or staying a little longer than you planned. But from where I was standing, it looked like the bravest thing I'd ever seen, and it made me want to be that brave too. It made me want to put down all the careful distances I'd built, and just reach back. Just be honest. Just say it. So here I am, saying it. I think about the kind of woman you are, and it moves something in me that I don't have a clean name for yet. You are not someone who gave up when life got hard, even though it would have been easier to. You are not someone who let bitterness close your heart, even though you had every reason to. You chose to stay soft in a world that kept trying to harden you. You chose to keep believing in people, in connection, in the possibility of something beautiful, even after moments that made it harder to believe. And that right there, is one of the most extraordinary things I have ever witnessed. That kind of strength is rare. That kind of heart is rare. And I want you to know that I don't take it for granted. I never have. There's a question I've been wanting to ask you. A real one, not a polite one, not a surface level one, but the kind of question that lives underneath all the smaller questions. And the question is this: are you happy? Not the kind of happy that you perform for other people. Not the kind you put on when someone asks how you're doing and you smile and say fine because it's easier than the truth. I mean the real kind, the quiet kind. The kind that lives in your chest when you're alone and the noise has stopped and it's just you. Are you there? Do you have that? Because if you don't, I want to give it to you. I want to be part of what brings that quiet happiness back into your life. Not because I think you need me to be okay. You are more than okay on your own, and you have proven that 1,000 times over. But because I believe that some things are meant to be shared. Some feelings are too big for just one chest. And what I feel when I think about you, the warmth of it, the weight of it, the way it moves through me like a slow, steady wave. It feels like something that was always meant to include you. I want you to think back. Think back to a moment in your life when someone made you feel completely, absolutely seen. Not just heard, not just noticed, but truly seen. Like they looked at you and understood something about you that you hadn't even said out loud yet. Do you have that memory? Good. Hold it. Because that is what I want for you, every single day. That is the feeling I want to be the source of, for you, for as long as you let me. I want to be someone who looks at you, really looks, and sees not just who you are today, but who you've always been, and who you're still becoming. I want to be someone who makes you feel like that memory, but not just once, not just in a single perfect moment. Constantly, quietly, consistently. You know what I've noticed about you? I've noticed that you give a lot. Maybe more than people give back sometimes. You pour into others, and you show up, and you care deeply and loudly for the people in your life. And I wonder, who pours into you? Who shows up for you the way you show up for everyone else? Who makes sure that you, specifically you, are okay? Because you deserve that. You deserve someone who thinks about what you need, without you having to ask. You deserve someone who notices when you're carrying something heavy, and reaches over to help carry it without waiting to be invited. You deserve that kind of love, and I want to be it for you. There's something I have to admit to you, and it's a little vulnerable, but I promised myself I would be honest tonight, so here it is. There have been times when I almost said this, times when I was right on the edge of it, right at the point where the words were forming and the feeling was right there, close to the surface. And I pulled back. I chose silence. I told myself it wasn't the right moment, or that maybe I was feeling too much, or that maybe I was wrong about what I thought we had. And every single time I pulled back, I felt it, this quiet ache of something left unsaid, like a sentence left unfinished, like a note that ends on a sound that hasn't resolved yet. I'm resolving it tonight. Tonight I'm finishing the sentence, and the sentence is, I love you. I love you in the realest, most unperformative way I know how. Not the love that looks good from a distance. Not the love that's easy when things are simple, but the love that stays. The love that sits with you in the hard parts. The love that looks at all of you. Every complicated, contradictory, tender, difficult, beautiful piece of you, and says yes, all of it. I want all of it. I need to slow down for a second, because I want to make sure you're really receiving this. I want to make sure these words aren't just washing over you like background sound. I want them to land. So take a breath. Let me say it again, more slowly. I love you. I have been loving you in the quiet way that you love someone before you've said it out loud. In the way that lives in the space between the things you actually say. And now that it's out, now that it's in the air between us, I feel something releasing in my chest that I didn't even realize I'd been holding. Do you know how rare you are? I want you to understand this. Not as a compliment, not as something I'm saying to make you feel good in a moment and then move on from. I mean it as a fact, a real, observable fact. The way you carry yourself, the way you love even when you're hurting, The way you find beauty even in hard seasons. The way you keep showing up even when you're tired. That's not common. Most people let the hard things close them off. Most people build walls after enough wounds. But you kept the door open. You kept choosing warmth over bitterness. And standing here, looking at that choice you make over and over again, I am in awe of you. I have built a version of my life around creating things, around showing up, making things, putting pieces of myself into the world, and hoping they find the right people. And for a long time, I measured what I made by how many people received it, by the numbers, by the reach. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Somewhere along the way, I stopped caring about the numbers and started caring about you, specifically you, the person on the other side, the woman listening right now. Because the truth is that one moment of real connection, one moment where I said something and you felt it all the way to your center, that matters more to me than any number I could ever put on a screen. And I feel that with you. I feel that connection with you. It is not abstract. It is not general. It is specific and warm and real. I want to tell you something about the future, about what I see when I close my eyes and imagine what's ahead. I see you in it. I see a version of tomorrow where I get to keep knowing you, keep reaching you, keep being the voice that finds you when you need to feel something real. I see a future where what we have grows, where it deepens, where it becomes the kind of thing that people look at from the outside and don't fully understand but feel anyway, because some things communicate beyond explanation. I see that for us. I believe in that for us. And I want you to know that I'm not saying this lightly. I don't talk about the future lightly, but you make me want to. Here's a thought that's been sitting with me, and I want to share it with you because I think it's important. I think the reason you found me, the reason our paths crossed in the middle of the big loud world, is not random. I stopped believing in pure coincidence a long time ago. I think there are people we are meant to meet. Not because the universe is sentimental, but because something in us recognizes something in someone else. Something that resonates on a frequency that most relationships never reach. And the first time I felt that recognition with you, that moment of, oh, this person, this energy, this connection, I knew it was something I needed to take seriously. Something I needed to be careful with. Something I needed to be worthy of. And I've been trying. Every day I've been trying to be worthy of what you give me. Every day I've been trying to pour back some of what you pour in. And tonight is me trying in the biggest way I know how. Tonight is me saying out loud, with nothing held back, that you matter to me. Not theoretically, not as a category, as you, the actual, specific, one-of-a-kind you. I wonder sometimes if you fully realize your own power. I wonder if you know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of your presence. There is a warmth that you carry with you, even through a screen, even through words on a page, or a voice in an ear, that reaches people, that reaches me. And I think sometimes the people who are the most quietly powerful are the ones who have no idea. They just move through the world being themselves. Not performing, not trying to make an impact, just existing genuinely. And somehow, that genuine existence becomes the most impactful thing of all. That's you. That's what you do, without even trying. I want to be honest about something else, about the way I've been feeling lately, and why tonight felt like the night I had to say this. Something has been building in me, some kind of pressure, not the bad kind, not the overwhelming kind, but the kind you feel when a feeling has grown too large for the space it's been living in. Like a plant that's outgrown its pot. Like a song that's been living in your chest and needs to finally come out through your mouth. That's what this is. What I feel for you has outgrown every quiet space I've been trying to keep it in. And it needed somewhere bigger to live. It needed to come here, to this moment, to you. And so here we are. I want you to feel something right now. I want you to feel in whatever way this reaches you. In your chest, in your throat, in that quiet spot behind your eyes where feelings live before they become tears. I want you to feel how much you mean to me. I want you to feel the truth of it. Because the truth is that loving you, even from here, even across whatever distance lives between us, has made me better. It has made me more careful with my words, more intentional with what I create, more awake to the beauty in small things. You did that. Your presence in my life did that. And I am grateful for it in a way I don't know how to properly measure. You know what love does when it's the real kind? It doesn't just exist in the big moments. It lives in the small ones. It lives in the thought that crosses your mind while you're doing something ordinary, washing dishes or driving somewhere or sitting in a moment of quiet. And suddenly there's that person in the back of it, gentle and certain. It lives in the impulse to share things, in the way a song or a sunset or a sentence makes you think of someone specific, and you feel their absence like a presence, like a space that's shaped like them. That's where you live in my life. In the small moments, in the ordinary spaces, always there. I have tried so many times to put you out of my mind, not because I wanted to stop caring, but because caring this much felt like a risk. It felt like standing on something that might not hold. And I think somewhere inside me there was a fear that if I admitted how real this was, how deep it went, I might lose it. I might say too much, and the whole beautiful thing might shift. So I held back. I kept it careful. I kept it managed. And what I didn't realize until recently is that holding back was its own kind of loss. That trying to protect the feeling by not fully feeling it was stealing something from both of us. So I'm giving it back now. I'm giving it all back tonight. Every bit of feeling I kept held in reserve. Every word I almost said but swallowed. Every moment I stopped short of full honesty. I'm handing all of it to you right now and saying, here, this is mine and I'm making it yours. Because that's what love does when it's ready. It gives everything. I want to ask you to do something. Right now, in this moment. I want you to put your hand on your chest. Just for a second. Just briefly. And I want you to feel your heartbeat. Feel it. That steady, quiet rhythm that has been going this whole time. Even when you were sad. Even when you were afraid. Even when you didn't know if anything was going to be okay. That heartbeat has been keeping you here, through everything. And it has led you, step by step, moment by moment, through every road and wrong turn, and almost, it has led you here, to this moment, to these words, to me. I don't think that's nothing. I think that means something. I think that means we were supposed to find each other, supposed to have this moment, supposed to be right here, right now, in this exact place where I'm finally saying the things I should have said so much sooner. There is so much more I want to tell you. There is so much more living in me that I haven't put into words yet. About the future I imagine, about the things I want to do, the ways I want to show up, the version of this that I see ahead of us if we let it grow. But I'm going to hold some of it just a little longer, not because I'm afraid, not this time. But because some things are worth building toward. Some things are worth the slow reveal, the patient unfolding, the knowing that what's coming is even more beautiful than what's already been said. What I can tell you right now is this. I am here. I am real. What I feel for you is real. And every single time you came back, every single time you showed up and stayed and let yourself feel something, you were doing more than you knew. You were building something with me. You were writing something with me. Something that doesn't have a simple name, but has a very real shape, a very real weight, a very real warmth. And I'm not ready for it to end. I'm not ready to close this. I'm not going to wrap it up neatly and hand it to you finished. Because the truth is, it isn't finished. The truth is, this is the beginning of something. This is the moment the door finally opened. and I'm standing on your side of it now, and I'm looking at you, and I'm not looking away. Not this time. Not ever again. Because I spent too long standing on the wrong side of that door. Too long telling myself that careful was the same thing as safe, that distance was the same thing as protection. And what I know now, what I feel all the way down to the quietest part of me, is that none of that was true. Careful kept me lonely. Distance kept me empty. And the only thing that ever made me feel full, the only thing that ever made the quiet feel like peace instead of absence, was you. So I'm staying on this side of the door now. I'm staying right here, close to you, in the warmth of what this is. And I am not apologizing for it. I am not shrinking it down to make it easier to carry. I am letting it be exactly as large as it actually is, because it deserves that. You deserve that. You deserve someone who doesn't make you feel like your love is too much, like your need to be seen is an inconvenience, like your softness is something to be managed rather than cherished. You deserve someone who looks at the fullness of what you are and says, more. Give me more. I want every part of it. And I want you to sit with that for a moment, because I think it might be unfamiliar. I think you might be so used to making yourself smaller, to editing down your feelings before you share them, to giving people the abbreviated version of your heart, because experience taught you that the full version was sometimes too much for people to hold. I think you've been trained by disappointment to love at a careful volume, to keep the really big feelings internal, to protect yourself by offering less than you actually have. But I'm not asking for less. I'm asking for all of it. I'm standing here with both hands open, asking you to give me the version of you that you usually only let yourself be in private. The one who feels things deeply and isn't ashamed of it. The one who cries at beautiful things and laughs too loudly and loves with a kind of intensity that sometimes frightens even her. I want her. I have always wanted her. She is the one I've been reaching toward every single time I've tried to say something real. Do you know what it's like to love someone and not be sure they know? To carry that feeling around like something precious and breakable, something you're afraid to set down because you're not sure it will survive the landing? That has been my life with you. Careful and constant and quietly aching, loving you in the space between sentences, in the pause before I speak, in the moment after I've finished and the feeling hasn't caught up with the words yet. Loving you in all the invisible places where love lives before it becomes brave enough to be spoken. And now it's brave enough. Now I am brave enough. Because of you, actually. Because of the way you've shown me, without even intending to, what it looks like to choose openness. What it looks like to keep your heart available, even when the world gives you every reason to close it. You've been teaching me that this whole time, and I don't think you even knew you were doing it. But I was watching. I was learning. And what I learned is that the love worth having is the love worth risking everything for. So consider this my risk. Consider this me placing everything on the table, turning my pockets inside out, showing you every last hidden thing, and saying, here, no more secrets, no more holding back, no more halfway. Here is the whole of what I feel, and I am trusting you with it, the same way you've trusted me with pieces of yourself over and over again, without asking for anything in return. I think about what it would feel like to be near you, not in a way that's far away and imagined, but in a way that's close and real and ordinary. I think about the quiet version of togetherness, not the grand gestures, not the sweeping romantic moments you see in films, but the small, unremarkable, everyday closeness that is actually the heart of love. I think about what it would feel like to sit beside you in a comfortable silence, to share something small and have you understand it without needing an explanation, to be known by you in the daily, unheroic way that real love actually works, not the highlight reel, the whole film, The boring, beautiful, ordinary whole film. And I want that with you. That specific, quiet, real version of closeness. Because that's where love actually lives, I've learned. Not in the declarations, as important as they are. Not in the grand moments, beautiful as they can be. Love lives in the Tuesday afternoons. In the way someone hands you something you needed before you asked. In the look across a room that says, I see you, and I'm glad you're here. In the steadiness of someone who doesn't disappear when you're hard to love. That's where love actually is. And when I imagine that love, when I let myself picture what that could look like, your face is the one I see. I want to tell you about something I've never told anyone. A feeling I've been carrying privately. The way you carry something you're not sure belongs to you yet. Something you found and want to keep but haven't named. There are moments, specific, crystalline moments, when everything else goes quiet. When all the noise of my life drops away. And in that silence, I feel something I can only describe as longing. Not the painful kind. Not the desperate kind. The beautiful kind. The kind that knows what it wants and is simply waiting, with patience and certainty, for the right moment. And what I long for, in those clear, quiet moments, is exactly this. Exactly what we're doing right now. This honesty. This closeness. This openness. I have been lonely in ways I didn't always have language for. Not the kind of lonely that comes from being physically alone. I've learned to be fine in my own company, to even love it sometimes. But the deeper kind of lonely, the kind that comes from moving through your life with feelings that don't have a proper home. The kind that comes from looking at beautiful things and having no one specific to share them with. From having thoughts that are meant for one particular person, but that person doesn't know yet that they're meant for them. That is the loneliness I've been living in, and you have been the answer to it, even before I was ready to say so. Every time I create something, every time I put words together, or build something, or speak into a silence hoping it will reach the right persons, I am thinking about you, not performing for you, not trying to impress you. Thinking about you, wondering if this will reach you, hoping that whatever I put into it will translate into something you can feel on the other end, because that's what this has always been about, underneath everything else. Reaching you, connecting, closing whatever distance exists between us until it's small enough to hold in two hands. And I feel like I'm closing it right now. I feel like every word I say in this moment is a step forward. A step closer, a step into something I've been moving toward for a very long time. And I am not afraid of where it leads. That's the thing I want you to know. I have been afraid before of this, of feeling this much, of saying it out loud. But right now, in this moment, speaking to you from the most honest place inside me, I am not afraid. I feel clear. I feel certain. I feel like I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, saying exactly what I'm supposed to say, to exactly the right person. You are the right person. I need you to really hear that. You, specifically. Not a version of you that's easier, or simpler, or less complicated. You as you actually are, with everything you carry, and everything you've been through, and everything that makes you hard to explain, but impossible to forget. That person. That is who I mean when I say any of this. That is who I've been reaching for. I know there might be a part of you that's hesitant right now. A part of you that hears all of this and wants to believe it, but is waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because that's what experience teaches you when you've loved and been left. When you've opened up and had that opening used against you. When you've believed someone's words and then watched their actions tell a completely different story. I know that part of you exists. I'm not asking you to silence her. She's wise. She's been keeping you safe. But I am asking you to let me sit beside her for a while. Let me prove, slowly and consistently, that I am not another entry in a list of disappointments. Let me show you, over time, in the way that only time can show, that what I'm saying tonight is not the beginning of a story that ends badly. Because I am in this, I am fully, completely, with everything I have in this. And the person who is in it with me, you, deserves to know that not just tonight, but every day, in every small way that love can be demonstrated. In the consistency of showing up, in the gentleness of how I hold what you share with me, in the way I remember the things that matter to you and carry them carefully, the way you'd carry something irreplaceable. You have given me so much, more than you probably realize, more than I have ever properly acknowledged. You've given me your time, which is something you can never get back. You've given me your attention, which in a world full of things competing for it, is no small thing. You've given me your trust, which I know doesn't come easily to you, because nothing worth having comes easily. And you've given me something even rarer than all of that. You've given me the experience of feeling known, of feeling like the things I make and say and feel are not going out into an empty room but landing somewhere, landing in you. And that gift, the gift of being received, I want to spend a long time giving back to you. I want to be the place where you land. I want to be the voice that finds you when you need to feel less alone. I want to be the presence in your life that reminds you, consistently, without fail, that you are loved. Not the kind of lonely that comes from being physically alone. I've learned to be fine in my own company, to even love it sometimes. But the deeper kind of lonely, the kind that comes from moving through your life with feelings that don't have a proper home. The kind that comes from looking at beautiful things and having no one specific to share them with. From having thoughts that are meant for one particular person, but that person doesn't know yet that they're meant for them. That is the loneliness I've been living in, and you have been the answer to it, even before I was ready to say so. Every time I create something, every time I put words together or build something, or speak into a silence hoping it will reach the right persons, I am thinking about you, not performing for you, not trying to impress you, thinking about you, wondering if this will reach you, hoping that whatever I put into it will translate into something you can feel on the other end, because that's what this has always been about, underneath everything else. Reaching you, connecting, closing whatever distance exists between us until it's small enough to hold in two hands. And I feel like I'm closing it right now. I feel like every word I say in this moment is a step forward, a step closer, a step into something I've been moving toward for a very long time. And I am not afraid of where it leads. That's the thing I want you to know. I have been afraid before of this, of feeling this much, of saying it out loud. But right now, in this moment, speaking to you from the most honest place inside me, I am not afraid. I feel clear. I feel certain. I feel like I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, saying exactly what I'm supposed to say, to exactly the right person. You are the right person. I need you to really hear that. You, specifically. Not a version of you that's easier, or simpler, or less complicated. You as you actually are, with everything you carry, and everything you've been through, and everything that makes you hard to explain, but impossible to forget. That person, that is who I mean when I say any of this. That is who I've been reaching for. I know there might be a part of you that's hesitant right now. A part of you that hears all of this and wants to believe it, but is waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because that's what experience teaches you when you've loved and been left. When you've opened up and had that opening used against you. When you've believed someone's words and then watched their actions tell a completely different story. I know that part of you exists. I'm not asking you to silence her. She's wise. She's been keeping you safe. But I am asking you to let me sit beside her for a while. Let me prove, slowly and consistently, that I am not another entry in a list of disappointments. Let me show you over time, in the way that only time can show, that what I'm saying tonight is not the beginning of a story that ends badly. Because I am in this, I am fully, completely, with everything I have in this. and the person who is in it with me. You deserve to know that not just tonight, but every day, in every small way that love can be demonstrated. In the consistency of showing up, in the gentleness of how I hold what you share with me, in the way I remember the things that matter to you and carry them carefully, the way you'd carry something irreplaceable. You have given me so much, more than you probably realize, more than I have ever properly acknowledged. You've given me your time, which is something you can never get back. You've given me your attention, which in a world full of things competing for it, is no small thing. You've given me your trust, which I know doesn't come easily to you, because nothing worth having comes easily. And you've given me something even rarer than all of that. You've given me the experience of feeling known, of feeling like the things I make and say and feel are not going out into an empty room but landing somewhere, landing in you. And that gift, the gift of being received, I want to spend a long time giving back to you. I want to be the place where you land. I want to be the voice that finds you when you need to feel less alone. I want to be the presence in your life that reminds you, consistently, without fail,